Hi Pisces, welcome to your Astro Reels. It's my pleasure to read for you, as you know. And as you also know, these readings are timeless and signless, so you don't have to be watching at the time that I'm publishing this video, and you don't have to have any significant Piscean placements in your natal chart. If it resonates, then chances are it's for you, but of course use your discernment. If it doesn't resonate, I would invite you to take a step back, wait a little bit, and then come back and see whether the messages are for you. Chances are they are for you, but they have not manifested enough into your physical environment for you to notice it quite as yet. If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to reach me. And yeah, all of that could be found on my Etsy link. There you go. Also, last thing, remember that I'm having a store-wide 20% off sale on all items or all services, $100 and up, and I offer payment plans lovingly for anything $50 and over. So please do reach out and let's jump in. So, speaking about jumping, I was shuffling very quickly, and I'm actually just not looking down often. I'm just looking out my window way up here and that's how I usually do these readings unless I look down. But I just felt a card fall out. This is it. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh shoot, that fell out when I wasn't even looking. So there's the idea here that I'm getting, Pisces, that something is going to come in for you when you're not looking. So if there's something that, and I think it represents your wish fulfillment for some of you, not exactly. For some of you, you may have written this off, whatever this is, a long time ago. Maybe I'm hearing you say you've graduated onto other things, you've grown, you've evolved onto other things. But the reason I'm saying that in that way is because, let's be honest, every kid at heart wants this, all right? So I took a look at what it is, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it off to the side so that we do stay focused. 2 minutes, 2 seconds as I look down to, so otherwise we would be encompassed by whatever that is. And so let's jump in to see what else this, Queen of Air, Queen of Swords is what I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting a very, look at that. Yeah, see, I'm getting a very, well, first of all, when we think about the Queen of Swords, we think about the only queen that will literally cut your throat while you're standing right in front of her, right? She is the one that it brings the most, I don't want to say the most logic, but that ice cold, like black and white, yes, no, up, down, in and out, decisive action. Are you here or are you not? Right? Off with your head kind of energy as needed. Right? Look, first words, objective decision making. But what I'm seeing here is this is representing you, Pisces, right? Which is, this card is not one that necessarily represents the Pisces energy, but I do like this energy coming through for you, where we see this cute little unicorn inside, which is more like what I feel with Pisces energy. So you are the observer here, looking at your fantasies from an objective standpoint. But I feel that you're greatly being aided by the great seer, okay, is what I'm getting. The great seer, the one who sees all, who sees into your heart, who sees into your throat, who sees into your mind, who sees into all of these spaces, these chakras, these places of wounding that you've had. You know, a lot of us go through life feeling like nobody sees our wounds. And on a very real note, that's pretty much true, because people cannot see beyond their own noses when it comes to reality. They can only see what they are capable of seeing, and one can only see what they have been through. And so you could be bleeding your heart out to somebody about how your sweet little dog has passed away, and if they have no concept of pet ownership, or just, you know, there's just or haven't even had a major death or anything else in their life, or something that can call that level of empathy up, you know, they're only going to be able to assist you and accompany you in that moment to the best of their abilities. Now that's completely understandable, and we shouldn't hold it against other people if they can't accompany us in things like grief and stuff like that, although it is something a lot of people who grieve tend to do. But what we can do is we can understand and acknowledge the degree to which they are attempting to do so. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing I'd like to say on this note is that a lot of times we forget, like it's easy for us to think about these things and how to approach when we're looking at grief. But what about in an actual relationship, where relationships in general call for, regular access to emotions, emotional availability, calling forward vulnerability, calling forward empathy, right? Compassion. These are things that we have to have on a regular basis. And if you're with somebody who does not have that capability or doesn't have the willingness even, or they're so incapable of doing it, it's so foreign to them, possibly due to trauma, likely due to trauma, that they just literally cannot even see why you need it so much. You're so sensitive, you're so this and that, or they want to be there for you, but they can't because it's just, not their thing, right? Of course, you don't need to make everybody your therapist, but you do have to remember that there is a need for these things in your connection. So I don't know why we're going on about this here, but for some of you, you may need to hear this. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself is this relationship or this connection or this job place or, workplace or familial structure, whatever it is, even is this art class that I go to every Sunday or something, I'm just making this up, right? Is the dynamic here something that can soothe my soul? Is this a place I can find refuge? So let's talk about that word refuge, because, life can be very, very tough. And a lot of us are out here trying to hobnob and shack up and mate and marry and all these things and work at places for decades, all these places and all these people who do not create or do not effect, right, a refuge. This is not to say that everybody should be a refuge for you. This is more to say, hey, you're the one in control and life is going to be tough at times. So if you cannot find spaces that you're in a lot, like your workplace, like in your family settings, like with your partnerships, your friendships, if you can't find places where you literally can have access to the level of refuge that you require for your health and well-being, your girl Jay's got to be like, where we at? What we doing? Even this guy's like, where we at? What we doing? Right? Come on, we have to think about this. So this is kind of a call for you guys to start to consider, is this the right place for me? I also notice here, we have the Queen of Water, literally compassionate in the reverse. And then they showed me compassionate here on my thing. Bing! We serve up compassion, right? But what I'm getting is the next question you have to ask yourself about these spaces and these relationships that you're in is first of all, does it allow for me to express my natural compassion, my natural inclination for empathy, compassion, things like that? Is it a space where I feel safe enough to do so? Or are people like, oh, you're too much, you're too sensitive, oh my God, it's not even that deep, things like that. Or even if they don't stop you in that way, but you still give because you could see someone needs it and whatnot, and not in an unhealthy way. You're just being out here being normal, right? Are they receptive to it? Are you casting your emotional pearls before swine, so to speak? Right? And this isn't to call anyone swine, although what's wrong with swine? The pigs out here are like, well, you weren't saying that last Saturday when you were on that bacon, right? But you get the point. So my point is, are you a good fit for where you are, my dear Piscean, or whoever you are? Notice this energy is coming through the energetic frequency of Pisces, emotion, right? So think about it. You are literally coming here to teach us about the importance of these energies. And notice how you are showing up here as the Queen of Swords. That's ice cold when you need to be, but you're using that logical approach, rational thinking of and observation to assess your unicorn nature, right? If you're a cute little unicorn, you're not gonna, or if you have a cute little baby unicorn, you're not gonna let your baby unicorn / inner child run rampant in this horrible household where your husband or your wife is so dominant, and or your family members are just, they think you're too much or you're not enough, or like, it's time to start looking at these things. This card wants to come out. Page of Water, right? So this is talking about inspecting what comes in, right? Learning to inspect something at the beginning to determine whether it's worthy of you expressing yourself, expressing your goodness, expressing your compassion, letting your guard down, if you will. This is not to say not to be friendly, nice, and cozy and stuff, but it's about understanding where and when to allow those feelings and things like that to flow freely. And this is an energy I had to learn. I'm still learning this, because you guys, if you know me, I'm a giver, and we're out here like, oh, what do you need? Let's do it. But it's not always appreciated, and it's not always recognized, I think. And again, people will only see to the extent that they're able to see. If you have people who are not available to that, they may misinterpret it, they may not even see it, they may, all sorts of stuff. So this is what the guides are saying. And here is the card that came up earlier. So a lot of you, look at the card, Ace of Water. This goes to show you how deep and capable you guys, whoever you are watching this, are able to be when it comes to the expression. Okay, look at my Virgo rising when it comes to the expression of this energy, and I'm getting global energy. So let's talk about that. If you're on this channel, chances are highly you have a mission, service, you have a service contract in your soul contract. And they're saying almost that in the world where you are, because some of you are very sensitive, in the world where you are, meaning your world, your everyday world, the people, places, things, situations, ideas that you kind of hobnob every day, is just not as safe for you to express this part of yourself. But it doesn't mean that you can have these parts of yourself go to waste. Actually, no, at 11 minutes 44 seconds, you can find a way to channel this energy into the global collective, into the collective. And I have to be honest, from where I'm sitting right here telling you this, it may be better spent sometimes, because from what I'm seeing and for what I've experienced, sometimes people just are not that, I don't know, they're just not receptive, or they're not able to make, it becomes a waste of your energy. And of course, the idea is we're never wasting energy, but actually there is draining that does occur. And so what Spirit is saying is a way that in the physical, you can channel these energies into the collective, which so needs it. Of course, you can donate, you can send out prayers. I'm telling you, prayers are literally the transmission of energy from one space to the next. I had a friend who said, I'm going to send you sunlight. Where she was, it was very sunny, and where I was at the time, it was very rainy or whatnot. I don't remember, but there was no sun, right? And she's like, I'm going to send you sun. And it was during quarantine. I was inside all the time. And she said, I'm going to send you sunlight. I was like, thank you. And then 2 days later, because, this is energy, 2 days later, out of the blue, I get this desire. I'm like, I'm just going to go. I've totally forgot about this conversation with her, by the way. I'm like, I'm just going to go outside and say hello to the sun, or go outside. I just feel like sitting outside. So I took my little fold-up chair and I went outside and sat, and then boom, I was just hit with all this sunlight after all these days of no sun and everything. The sun was there. And then it hit me. I was like, oh yes, my friend said she'd send me sunlight. So I want you to know that you underestimate the power of sending energy. Literally what I do. Working with the energy field. So trust me, when your friendly local healer tells you it works, right? These things are very, very much working. And so they're also using this story to come in on the back end and say, they're showing me some of you delusionally be like falling head over heels for somebody in jail who's serving life, and and just, that's the example they're giving. But they're showing, for example, this idea of you don't need to waste time on certain people. And I'm not making a commentary on people who are in jail or serving life and saying they don't deserve it. That's your mind running rampant if that's where you're going. That was the image they gave me, and they're showing you, whoever you guys are, specifically for whoever this is on this call, On the next call, the advice may change, but on this call, if this fits you, they're like, stop throwing your energy at people who cannot appreciate it. They cannot live it out. They cannot consume it. They cannot understand it. They cannot apply it, right? And it, and they're talking about energy in terms of showing up, giving them things, being in their space, laughing, all this stuff. Instead, if you want to do something for them, send them energetic transfers. Send them sunlight, and they will get that. Mwah.